For the last important step, archiving our app and uploading it to iTunes Connect, we are back in Xcode. And I now have to archive my app, which I can do by clicking on Product in the menu and then selecting Archive. This might be grayed out like this, and that's because we can only choose this option having selected an actual device for the generic iOS device as the build target in Xcode. So if I just choose this generic iOS device and again click in the product, I can now choose Archive, and that's what we're going to do now. This will then compile my app. It might take some time, but it should soon present a new menu to us. As soon as it is done, we get this pop-up window where I can now see my archive for Simon Says with my version number as well as identifier. I can then select different operations in the right column. And what I want to do is upload to App Store, which will upload my archive to the Apple servers and iTunes Connect, so that we can later select it there as the build for our app. This will also automatically validate the app, which is very nice since this will already notify us if there is something fundamentally wrong or missing in our app bundle. So let's click on this button. And like I said, this can take some time depending on your app. I can then just specify a few things here like bitcode, strip Swift symbols, and crash logs, which I will all leave checked and click next. I can then select automatically manage signing, and if we did everything correctly, it should work. If this is your first submission, you will then get this alert that you don't have a distribution certificate. But don't worry, we can just create one right here. All I need to do is check this and click on next. This will then bring up the option to export and save my certificate, which you should do to make sure you don't lose the certificate. And then again, click on next. Finally, we'll get a final overview with the certificate, profile, and identifiers. If all of this is correct, we can click on Upload to start the process. So I will just skip ahead a little. Depending on your app, this process can take quite a few minutes though. I don't want this video to take forever and just make you stare at the same screen, so we'll just come back as soon as the upload is complete. If everything works, we will eventually get this notification that the upload was successful and we are now able to access it in iTunes Connect. So let's finish this with a click on Done, and we should now have this build available in iTunes Connect. Back in iTunes Connect, we will, after a short delay for processing, be able to select our new build. This can take some time, so you maybe have to check a few times until it is ready. And in the section for the iOS app, we can scroll down to the section Build, where we, if the build is ready, have this plus button to select a build. If I click it, I can see my version 1.0 build with the app icon. I'll select it with the radio button, and then with Done, add it. This will then be the app that will be submitted for review. As soon as I've done that, I can save this again, and if I now have everything mandatory completed, I can use the Submit for Review button to start the review process. The review process usually takes 1 or sometimes a few days, depending on how many apps are in the queue currently. As soon as the review is complete, you will get a notification whether or not the app was approved. If it is, you can publish it. If not, you will actually get detailed feedback as to why the app wasn't approved. And you can then, in a kind of conflict solving process, work on a solution to make the app legible for publishing.